The following is a presentation of Playfly Sports Properties and Michigan State Sports Properties. Welcome. It is January 10th, 2023. I'm your host, Jason Strayhorn, along with my co-host, Jehuu Choo-Choo. He's hyped up. Caulcrick, Otis is on assignment today on the West Coast. I don't know, he might have been at the national championship game. He's in that area doing his duck dizzle. So, we'll have him on next show, but it's us. So you're stuck with us. How about that? This is Sparta. We've got a outstanding show. Jam-packed, man. You know what I'm talking about? Jehuu, we got nothing but choo-choo. Maybe some grandpappy references are coming. Just don't know. Just stay tuned. Thank you for watching this. If you're watching it live, please be sure to click the like button and subscribe. And if you want to follow us on all of our socials, you should do that. And this is how. Thanks for tuning in to This is Sparta MSU. Interested in hearing more from us? Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and even TikTok. Click on the link in the bio to head to our link tree for more information. Help us grow our following by hitting the like and subscribe buttons. Tell your friends and family to do the same. Have an idea for a future episode? Let us know in the comment section below. And now, back to the show. Well, Choo-Choo.
If they go to follow us, and there's that in that link tree there, because I think I've entered a couple times for an opportunity to win lunch or dinner with us and go to the game. That's in that. So
you cannot forget that. That's coming up January 14th and 16th. You're gonna have lunch, dinner, a night out with Choo-Choo and the gang. Catch a hockey game. Maybe a basketball game, too. Depends on, if you win. You got to enter in order to win, though.
I entered.
You did?
Yeah.
Then you could take yourself out? I don't think we're not going to allow that. If you win, we're going to toss it out. We got to have somebody that really deserves to win. Just no Choo-Choo's winning. But definitely, man, speaking of, fantastic nights, I don't know if you can call it that. The national championship game did just happen last night. Where Georgia put a stomping on TCU, 65-7. What do you think about that one, Choo-Choo?
Man, I was scrolling around social media, and there was a clip of floating around a pregame speech, and that was something unreal. And if we can't play it on here because you won't hear anything. It's every other word is beep, 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 beep. We'll have to beep it out. But he did a terrific pregame speech. He told them, you are ready for this. Don't give a damn about what those other people have to say or who's lined up across for you. Play your game. Stay up and hit the other color. And that's what they came out there and did. They did a phenomenal job. They made a statement, because I said going into it, it's hard to repeat, but they made it look really easy in that game.
Didn't they? You got a great point. They didn't make it look easy. It's very difficult. You're never really defending anything because, each year is its own championship, its own story. But what Kirby Smart has been able to do down at Georgia, people have to take notice of it. It was a very good ride by TCU, being kind of a Cinderella story, starting out a year ago, 5-7, making it to the championship game. Great game against Michigan, but just overmatched physically in every way. You could see it. And, there's just talent always all over the field at Georgia. You grow to expect that. But you cannot take any credit away from the former walk-on Stetson Bennett, the quarterback, who, you know, he may be a little up in age, but awful good player.
Yeah, Stetson and Lamar Jackson are the same age right now. Lamar's been in the league how long? 5 years now?
About that.
So that's absolutely crazy. But this game here, you know, like you hit it on the head. TCU, it is what it is. That was a Cinderella story. That was a story that, I don't know, you know, it's going to be tough for a team, you know, the previous year, you're 5-7 to be playing in a national title game. We're going to get more into that, you know, because Michigan State was 5-7 this year, but Georgia is on a different level at that game. And you know, shout out to Ohio State because they played Georgia tough. So maybe that was the wake-up call that Georgia needed in order, you know, to perform at that level. But something I saw, and I really wish I found the clip because I was watching Telly earlier today. It was actually the news. And they showed a clip of the Georgia players, because you know how SoFi, they have the low-level suites.
Yes.
Field level. They showed a clip of the Georgia players going to like someone's VIP area there. It was obviously Georgia fans grabbing a plate of wings and took it to the sideline. The linemen were the ones eating the wings on the sideline.
How embarrassing is that?
During the game.
In the game. Eating chicken wings.
Tony, if you can find this clip somewhere before this show's over, it's absolutely ridiculous.
You gotta find that one.
And not even boneless wings either. Not even boneless, like traditional, like sitting
finger
there.
licking. They're really like eating chicken wings during the game.
During the game.
Because there was no threat. I mean, the game was good for about 4 minutes. You know, it was like, oh wow, you know, TCU's they made some big plays. Okay, all right, let's see what happens. And it just wasn't even close, man. You talking 38-7 by the half or 31-7. It was way out of hand, man.
Yeah.
You seen old Nick during the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Saban, our old coach, my old coach. And you could, like, if you've been around Nick, and you don't even have to have been a player for Nick, but you can just see what he's thinking on his face during that halftime show when the score's 38-7.
There was no happier guy. There was no happier guy in the room because you were on the Alabama should be in this game bandwagon, Jason.
Man.
And you before when it was all unfolding, you said, "Oh no, TCU's not the best team. Alabama should take their spot because it will be a better game." You know, and Nick sitting there like,
told you so. Yeah. He's like, we only got the last year's Heisman Trophy winner and probably 2 of the top 3 picks in the NFL draft are on the team, but whatever. Those guys are done.
At the end of the day, you got to give credit to TCU for making it that far. They played and they put themselves in position to win a national title, you know, be at that level. And they got there and they couldn't get it done. So, but hey, you got to give them their props for getting to that point because there's 128 other teams that wish that they were in that position as well.
Yeah, there's no question about it, man. And we touched on a little bit when you talk about TCU and them going 5-7, just like Michigan State did this year, and was able to transform things. They were in the Big Ten title game, lost that by in overtime, but then were able to get to the college football playoffs, beat Michigan, and then also get to the championship game, which wasn't a great showing. But the ability to go from that level, non-bowl eligible, to national championship game, is that something that's a potential possibility for Michigan State?
Oh, well, before we get to that, Tony just did pop to say he got Georgia eating.
Show it to us.
Look at this. And these are skilled players too.
Oh man.
Look at that. Serving the line.
I wish you could see the time left on the clock, man. Look at it.
Look at that. Not a care in the
it's clearly not over. The coaches are still coaching. I mean, players, it's probably like the third team guys in the game. I mean, it was great for them experience-wise.
Now,
to get everybody in that ball game.
If you're TCU and you see this clip, what are you thinking?
It's the ultimate disrespect, man. I mean, I don't know if you stand there like J.J. McCarthy and look at the screen with his hands behind his back, like this is going to be us next year. I don't know if you do that, but that one hurts.
Right.
Chicken wings.
The chicken wings too. Those wings look good too. Those are buffalo wings too. You can tell by the sauce of it there.
in LA, by the way. You can tell by the sauce.
You can tell by the sauce.
You're a buffalo wing connoisseur.
Of course.
What would it take though? Honestly, in your opinion, Jehuu, you have a crystal ball, man. Looking at Michigan State in the championship game, what will they have to have done during this offseason and into the beginning of the season in order to even have that be a possibility? What do you think they need to do?
There's a lot of holes that Michigan State has to fill in order to be in this position that TCU was in, to be in the national title game. They have to solidify their offensive line. They have to solidify their defensive line. They have to. It's imperative that secondary has to be in the top 5 in college football. That's a no-brainer. They have to be in there with the caliber of teams that they're going to be playing. So those are some points that they have to make, and the mindset has to totally change. That grind mentality mindset from the players. Somebody or a couple people from that team have to put the team together and say, hey, listen, guys, last year TCU were in the same position that we were in this year. They were 5-7. They rebranded the culture. Yeah, they got a new coach that came in there, but everyone bought in to the culture. And things have to be, you have to do these 3 things if you want to be a successful program. 1, you have to buy in. 2, you have to be comfortable being uncomfortable. And 3, your ego, you have to fold that in your pocket, put it in your back pocket and sit on it and say, hey, we're all going to be in this thing together. So those are the things. If those things can happen, Michigan State will have a shot at being, in this position next year. But there's a lot that has to come together, and guys have to step up and play.
Talent-wise, do you think they're close or can make it or can compete on that level?
Talent-wise, I think they can compete for a Big Ten title, talent-wise right now. But to win a national title, I think, if I'm putting my analyst hat on, we're a little ways away from a national title talent-wise.
Little ways away. Got it. We don't know what little ways away mean. I would like to know if that was something that's a year, 1 recruiting cycle, or 3. Who knows? We'll find out, man. But because I know who's in season right now, and that's MSU Basketball. They had a big game, just this weekend. They dominated the game, but the score doesn't indicate that. They did win the game against a school down the road at home in Breslin, 59-53.
Oh yeah, I was bebopping around Breslin this Saturday. It was an electric crowd. It was really cool atmosphere. They had the little towels, the rally towels were going. The light show at the beginning. It was a very cool atmosphere. I don't think the score is indicative of the game. I think Michigan State fully outplayed Michigan, and they out-hustled them, they out-rebounded them, and they just had more energy going into it. And our guy, Hunter Dickinson, he had he had 18 points, but it was a quiet 18 points. And, the student section got on him. The entire Breslin crowd got on him. And it really took away. What's that?
What were they saying?
Oh, just booing him, different chants. And it really took that shit-eating grin that he always has on his face. It took that away from it. And it made me happy to see that.
He had a little pain, a little discomfort.
Yeah, a little
in the Breslin Center.
Yeah, and Maddie tried to go ham on him one time there, but he was a little too far away. So that would have been, a highlight reel dunk on him there.
I mean, from the TV copy, you could just feel the energy coming off of the television screen, man. It was electric. It looked electric, and thankful you were there to cheer the guys on, and you'll be there this Tuesday coming up.
Is it Monday?
Maybe it's Monday. It is Monday.
Monday, yeah.
Okay, day. What am I talking about? It's Monday, not Tuesday. I think about Tuesday games otherwise. But that's the Purdue game.
Yeah.
Join the fellas.
And some lucky fan can win lunch with us and the game.
That's right. January 16th and 14th for a hockey game. So
for a hockey game,
man, you got a lot of choo-choo for
choo-choo overload.
Just signing up, or Otis, maybe even Stray. We don't know. We'll see how all this shakes out, man. AJ and Malik Hall, 15 points each in that ball game, and it seems like the energy that Malik brings to the game and AJ's leadership seems to be something that Michigan State basketball is going to be able to count on for a while.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think both those things that you said there, the leadership and that AJ brings and that energy he brings is unparalleled and it's great. And just having Malik back, and it didn't look like he missed a beat. He's that energy guy, he's that excitement guy that's going to get the team going and get the crowd into it. So it was really good to have him back and getting full strength to that. It'll be, interesting for the rest of the season as, the Spartans are playing at Wisconsin right now. And with 15 minutes to go in the second half, the Spartans are down 38-40 against those pesky Badgers.
Oh, man, we got to get to that game and watch that game live here, so we're not going to hold everybody too long. But talking about what Tom Izzo was heard saying after the Michigan beatdown, look, so we hear a couple of different things. I told Mel we won the game for him. Someone puts a period there, and that's that. And then there's, it was clarity on that quote. He said, I told Mel Tucker that the game was for him because our defense won the game, and that's what is important to him. It was about defense. Don't you love the way that, people are inferring that what Tom Izzo is referring to is the tunnel incident in football?
Hey, a guilty conscience needs no accuser.
Nope, not at all.
If that's the thing that pops to you might have done something wrong then, and even before the game, I think Izzo was out there saying it will be okay because we have two different tunnels at the Brez. So
oh man, that's right. I like that. Donald Person. AJ brings that dog mentality. He does, man. He is a dog. A lot of people in the administration, a lot of football people dig AJ, man.
Yeah. He's a tough kid. He's a tough kid, a physical player. I love his grit. The Lions fans will appreciate that.
The grit.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Lions, man. Hey, look, they deserve some credit, man. Okay. That culture does seem like it's shifting a bit, and for a long time, it seemed like this is going back to your player days in Michigan State before and one coach took over for the other. It felt like we really ran in parallel with Detroit Lions, but I think those days are behind us now. Everything is on the up and up on both sides.
Absolutely.
Now Tom Izzo also had more to say. There was more talk, I believe. Tony, do we have that quote from Tom?
About the respect before the game?
Yeah. Maybe we don't have it. There it is. I love this from On 3. Is there going to be any love? Hell no. Will there be respect? From this side, there will be.
Okay. I love the fire of this rivalry. I love the fact that Izzo is not scared to go out and say, hey, we want to beat them. And they want to come in here and beat us as well, but we want to beat them just as bad, if not more, because this does mean something to not just Coach Izzo, not just the universities, but these players, because a lot of these guys played against each other in high school, in AAU, playing across the country and everything like that. And then they have the opportunity to go and play there. And then you got guys, from that side, actually more in football with that Hunter Dickinson guy, going out and, talking all this smack and talking all this trash when you can't even back it up. So, and it goes back to what I said when he first said those things. Michigan has been in the slump. They were losing some games. They're losing to Central Michigan and everything like that. So, oh, man, we got to do something to make ourselves relevant again. Okay, let's talk about Michigan State. So that's what happened, and they were put in their place this past Saturday.
Hats off to Michigan State basketball for doing that, because I know made a lot of people happy. Makes us smile all over the country, all over the world, where the Spartans are, when they can see the Spartans dominate a good Michigan team like that. And I'm not trying to give them credit. Dominate the boys in blue. Well, what time is it right now? I think it's time to hear from a message from our friends over at IHOP.
At IHOP, the $6 Rudy Tooty Fresh and Fruity combo is back. 2 eggs, 2 bacon strips, and 2 fruit-topped pancakes. Only from IHOP. Download the app and earn free food with every order. Dine in only. Limited time at participating locations. Prices may vary.
When you join IHOP's new rewards program, the International Bank of Pancakes, and start stacking pan coins toward free food, you get a smile on your plate. Download the app and join the rewards program today.
Chew.
Rudy Tooty Fresh and Fruity.
Well, man, hey, look, we just talked a little bit about Michigan because we talked about the basketball program, but NFL coaching rumors once again. Harbaugh. I know that we've been talking about this off the air. Like, okay, does it mean he issues a statement and basically says no one knows what the future holds, but and everyone went crazy. The fan base on that side just went nuts. Like, he's coming back. He's coming back. But I just didn't agree with the messaging there, because he kind of prefaced it with no one knows the future. Chew. I mean, what do you say?
Yeah, when that first came out, we had a conversation, behind the scenes about it. And you said that, whoa, what does that mean? And I said, oh, well, I think you're reading too much into it. And I was like, it's not going to go anywhere.
Hey, man, I didn't expect all that.
When I'm mistaken, I will say, hey, maybe you were right. But, every year this comes up. This guy, last year he was all but packed up and gone to Minnesota. And that didn't work out when he went down there thinking he was just going to sign a contract. It didn't work out for him. And now he's back on it again. He's he had a 2-hour virtual interview with the Denver Broncos yesterday. He's emerging as the top candidate. And, John Elway and Harbaugh, there's some type of parallel and some relationship there from, playing against each other back in the day there when Harbaugh was coined as Captain Comeback when he was with the Colts.
Hey, as a youngster in Indianapolis, man, I'm telling you, he was before Peyton. Now that was the guy,
right? Exactly.
He wasn't the weird dude he is today, but we loved him then because he was. Didn't he make it to the AFC Championship game and lose to Junior Seau's?
Yep, exactly. Chargers. Yep, Scott Chandler and the Chargers.
Yes.
I don't see why Jim Harbaugh would want to leave and go to the NFL. I don't think the NFL is his style, is his game. I don't see that. I see, because these are grown men, and those weird attributes and those weird things, those quirks that Jim has at the beginning, it's different. And people are like, oh wow, this is great. We can all hee ha ha over it. But as the grind gets going, you don't want to go to a team meeting and hear this guy, give some philosophy on why he doesn't eat chicken because he feels chicken are skittish animals. No one gives a damn on why he doesn't want to do that, So these guys are coming in at the professional level with families and everything like that. They want to go in, get their work in, get their film study in, and leave. And Jim won't have the control that he has at Michigan, over these guys, because these are grown men here. So I don't think the NFL's a good fit for him. Do I think he can go to the NFL and make a splash in his first year or two? Yes, because it's something new, something different, and his press conferences will be something to see at the beginning. But once that stick is up, it gets old. And, but it's year in and year out now. This is starting to get old. But I really, with all this happening, I don't think he's going to leave Michigan. I think once again, this is him, having that look at me moment and trying to take the deflection off the fact that, they had a month to prepare and he didn't get his guys ready for that.
Do you think that, I wonder what the sentiment is for most people in Spartan Nation? Like, do you want Jim Harbaugh to keep the job in Ann Arbor and stay there? Or do you want him to move on to the NFL? Because, I think there's going to be a lot of Spartan mixed feelings on this. I mean, obviously lately he's been successful in Ann Arbor, back-to-back Big Ten championships, back-to-back college football playoffs, beating Ohio State in back-to-back years. But is that something that's sustainable? Michigan, we may have to deal with a new alignment of the conference. I don't know if they're going to remove the Eastern Western divisions when USC and UCLA come into the picture. But I just think that Jim, his desire from the people that I know on the inside over at Michigan, they've said that this guy really has an issue. Like, he really wants to go to the NFL, and he's not shy about it. He's not shy about telling recruits that. And he just says it's a dream of his. If there's a man that's motivated like that and saying those things out in the open to those people that he works with and cares dearly for, wow, I think that that's a serious possibility. Look at the quote from Blake Corum, who is coming back, by the way. Blake Corum, that was big news. He's deciding to come back for his senior season. That blows me away. But he actually said it, Jehuu, that whether or not he comes back, I don't know. But it'd be cool to play for him another time. But I wish him luck whichever decision he makes. So that's a star player kind of on the fence about the decision for Jim Harbaugh.
Right. And, that's a star player. That's, if you're on the fence, if you have a coach that you love, you will go and say, I want this guy. I'm coming back because I think I can win with this guy. And it goes back to what I'm saying is his stuff gets old and it gets boring. So that's why some people are like, hell, yeah, go ahead and leave. Maybe change is good. Maybe a fresh face coming in will be good for the program. But the thing is, like I said, I don't think Harbaugh, should leave. But if I'm a Michigan State fan, if I'm, like Spartan Nation, yes, you want him to stay in Ann Arbor because he will find a way to outthink himself, to outcoach himself. And it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when he will do that.
Exactly.
And, so you don't want him to go anywhere. You don't want someone else to come in and really, put passion back into the rivalry. You don't want someone else to come in and, talk about, hey, those guys down the road have our numbers. The last 15 years, they've beat our butts more than we've beat them. You don't want someone to come in and, put those thoughts in the players' heads. You want someone to go out there and second guess himself and argue with the officials and not worry about the X's and O's when it comes to that stuff. But also too, the big reason too that I think he wants to go back to the NFL is because he did coach in the Super Bowl. He lost to his brother. Now imagine that family reunion.
Oh man, yeah, he got to have one.
Yeah.
He said, I'm gonna be like Peyton and Eli, where we both gonna be able to trade rings at the dinner table.
Exactly.
It's something that's gonna eat him alive too. So I think he's until he gets a chance to do it again. And with the sport, I mean, you think about it, John Elway, hey man, that just seems like a match. If you think about those two having a discussion for 2 hours, the interview that he had in Minnesota a year ago, there's those reports coming out that it was like the interview that wasn't. He went there and they didn't even meet with him. So that's vastly different than 2 hours, with the brass over with the Denver Broncos. So we'll see what happens. We'll keep our eye on this, and we'll continue to monitor the situation. But looking at more coaching changes, is what is going on with a defensive line coaching search for Michigan State football. Obviously there's a lot of support for Kevin Vickerson, the former player, Spartan Dog, 10-plus year NFL veteran, to get the job. Spartan Dogs all over. I mean, there's a lot of confidence behind him and pushing for him to get that job, Jehuu.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Our circle, their Spartan Dogs, our former players, there's, text groups, text messages going around saying, hey, Vic is the guy. And for me personally, I think it's a no-brainer. It's an absolute no-brainer that Kevin Vickerson should be the coach of Michigan State, due to the fact that he was a kid, played high school football, chose to attend Michigan State University to further his athletic and academic career. He played at Michigan State. I was teammates. He was older than me. I was with him for a year or two, maybe. And then he went to the next level playing in the NFL. I got an opportunity to play against him in the NFL. And now this year, working the radio alongside you, spending time, with him, seeing his preparation, pregame, the way he conducts himself and carries himself, I think it's a great fit and a great match, because he understands what it means to be a Spartan dog. He understands what it means, to throw that helmet on with the Spartan logo on it. He understands what it means to wear one of these and what this symbolizes. So I think it's an absolute no-brainer that he has to be there, because he's going to be able to attract these young guys, these recruits in there, and say, hey, you come here, you can be great. You got Coach Jordan, teaching pass rush moves. You got an NFL guy giving you the tips and the tricks for your tool belt, and I'll solidify everything else. So with the two of them, it'll be a no-brainer, and that's why he has to be, the next D-line coach.
Yeah, I mean, I love it. I mean, he's a guy who's been there, played the position at its highest level, and understands what it feels like. When you're recruiting the kind of talent that Mel Tucker is recruiting, this just like I do. The defensive line is a peculiar group of guys. It's a warrior's position, to put it lightly. So you have to have the respect of those guys in order to be able to get them to perform the way that you want them to, because they are such superior athletes. Not many guys walk the earth like great 4- and 5-star defensive linemen, athletically speaking. That's just not a lot of people. You're talking about size, speed, and explosiveness. So Kevin Vickerson's the guy who is that. He understands that. He embodies that. And we'll see what happens here, Jehuu. It's just, we've heard reports of other interviews happening. There's been, lots of interviews. So we'll see how this plays out. But right now, I know with the support from, former players, us, and everybody that we've talked to, obviously, we'd like to see another Spartan dog stay home and continue to recruit the way that he recruits, because quite frankly, he's earned it, by waiting his turn.
Right. And like I said, this weekend, I believe today is the last day of the AFCA coaches convention. That, after this is when you do see those shifts in coaching and the coaching carousel, people switching seats and, different things happening,
the secret meetings.
Secret meetings with no
meetings.
This is it. That's where it goes down. So Charlotte was a hotbed, this past weekend here. So I think, and I think also too, that decision, has to be made sooner rather than later. So there's that security and that, sense of, hey, we're all here, we're ready to go, and let's get rolling now.
Man, talking about the transfer portal, Chew, and looking at some of the players from Michigan State in the past that have gone in the portal, and you see where they landed. You've seen 2 out of 3 Spartan dogs go into the portal, and 2 out of 3 went to Division I schools. You look at Petrowski, he goes on. Jeff is now with the Badgers.
Yeah, I think that's a very good fit for him. He embodies what Wisconsin's trying to do. I think Coach Fickle and Coach Tressel will get everything out of him. I think that's a very good fit for him. And this year is the first year really that you do see guys going to those, like especially Power 5 schools. You saw guys transfer, Rocky Lombardi transferred. He was at Northern Illinois, and you saw other guys go somewhere else, but not as high level. So these are guys that can play in Power 5 that we're losing, but the depth that's coming in, sometimes the writing's on the wall. Maybe this opportunity is better, somewhere else. But, like we always say, good luck to them. But I think Petrowski, that's a great landing spot for him.
Yeah, and talking about landing spots and working yourself into beach body shape. Deshaun Mallory, guy who dropped about 100 pounds a few years ago with Amber, the nutritionist, coming into East Lansing. Well, now he gets to take that beach body over to Arizona State, hang out at the pool in the desert.
The pool's right. You're damn right about that. I don't know. I could not go to Arizona State. I could not go to University of Arizona because I would not have these blinders on, to do my work. I might be.
Oh, I thought we were talking about the temperature.
Yeah,
it's not hot around there.
Yeah, I'll be dabbling in pool parties here, pool parties there. Oh man, okay, yeah. I got class. I got practice. Yeah, no,
football meetings. Where's Choo Choo at? Oh man, who knows? It's one of those. Defensive line is stacked. This is a true. That's a true statement. D line. It's one of those casualties where you look at, okay, where was Deshaun Mallory going to play? Later on in the season, he played it. He started defensive end. He was playing some football, man, and yeah. They basically it's being run, if you pay attention to this, like an NFL team. I swear. They hype a guy up in preseason, like they're treating the end of the season out of necessity, kind of like a preseason for the NFL. When you're not in it anymore a little bit, they say, okay, go ahead and put these guys out there. They write articles on how great this guy is. They feature him, and all of a sudden he gets traded. I mean, it was a plan. They were baiting other teams to come get the guy. That's what it was. And Mel Tucker, 10 years, Jehuu, in the NFL, he has a lot of that same player personnel thought process. A lot different than you see in most college coaches, where they have this like long-term incubation, like develop you from a 2-star into a 4 or 5-star, player as a 5th year. Let's win right now. I need the best talent. Let's win right now.
Right, exactly. He has that Stan Kroenke mindset. F them picks. We want to put our chips in the middle here and win. But for Deshaun Mallory, I think you mentioned the fact that he lost over 100 pounds. He's leaner. Going to that conference in the Pac-12, that's the type of football player that he is, and that's what he's going to find success there, because he's going to be limber. He's going to be going against not as stout or as thick linemen, so his athleticism is going to come into play there, and he will have success there. So if you're Spartan Nation and you read about him or you see him doing very well out there, don't get down, oh, Michigan State let this one go, because it's totally two different style of play in two different conferences there. So don't compare. It's like apples and oranges.
That is a great point. Yeah, Pac-12 football is a lot different than Big Ten football. Tate Halleck, guy who did hit the portal, is now at Western Michigan. So this is something more along the lines that we've seen before from certain players that have left. And, he's a legacy kid himself, Tate, and his father, Ty, played at Michigan State, and he's going to Western Michigan, which is, hey, congratulations to him.
Yeah. Hell yeah, congratulations on him. He's still playing, Division I college football, but now he's on the opposite spectrum of things now. Instead of being on a team that pays schools to come get their heads beat in, now he's on a school that goes to teams to get their heads beat in. And if he can, play amongst that, raise his stock a little bit. If he wants to play at the next level, he would have the opportunity the first, 4 games of the year, because they're going to be going to, playing at Michigan State, Ohio State, different things like that. And he can have the opportunity to shine against those bigger schools, because those are the money games for, schools that are like a Western or Central or
MAC schools,
FBS team. Yeah.
Mid-majors.
Not a Power 5. Yep.
Next group of 5. Hey, look, Nick Samac, the news. He put it out to Spartan Nation that he's going to pass up his NFL dreams for now and come back to Michigan State.
Yeah, he said, unfinished business. Definitely a lot of unfinished business. With a 5-7 season, there's a lot of meat left on the bone that you can still go back for. And it's good to see him back. He was one of the better offensive linemen this past season. Always good to have guys returning, but I think our offensive line is going to grow. This, Jason. I think they're going to be a lot better than they were last year because they're going to have that time together. You got some new guys coming in. You got some guys that have some in-game experience under their belt now. They know what to expect, when it comes to playing from September 2nd all the way till November, when it's a different type of mindset. Those warm weather games, you feel good, you can get out there and play right away. Those November games, your body's beat up already. It's colder. You got to figure. So they're going to understand what it is now. And I think that you're going to see the offensive line, improve tremendously this upcoming year.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. You want a guy like Nick Samac anchoring things in the middle. He's got the calls down. He understands how to play that position, and the athletes around him. I mean, I haven't been able to use the word athletes in the offensive line room for a long time. Now I can, because there's definitely athletic players that are coming into the building now, playing offensive line. Stanton Ramble, got a chance to see him. I told you he's definitely a physical specimen. Talking about a 6'7" all day long, flat-footed and slump shoulders, 6'7" type of guy. And once he gets involved in that weight training and gets under Cap's tutelage and understands the speed of the game, that's just the biggest difference for offensive linemen. It's the technique a little bit. A lot of these guys have it. You're not recreating everything and have them break the guys all the way down from a technique standpoint. So that's a positive. But then they have so much room to grow because of their frames and their athleticism. I'm excited. Keyshawn Blackstock is a guy that transferred from JUCO that I'm really, really excited for. And, you talk to Cap about him, and he just starts turning red and getting giggly. So, look, I can't wait to see him.
It's all right now. Right now, it's all the honeymoon stage.
Yeah, of course. Of course, is what it is.
All the
yeah. Right. I mean, look, ha-ha. Speaking of that, Otis is out on assignment on the West Coast. Ha-ha, doing work for Playfly and all the things that bring everybody to something. And look, do not forget to register. Have your friends register. If your friends win, I'm sure they'll bring you along, but it's going to be fun. Talking about a hockey game on Saturday, the 14th, and a basketball game on Monday, the 16th. Hanging out with Choo-Choo, Otis, and maybe Stray. Who knows?
Which one would you pick? Would you pick the hockey game or the basketball game?
I don't care. I haven't been to a hockey game before, so I would love to go.
Hockey game's great.
Yeah.
I was there for the Michigan State one. Phenomenal.
Oh, man.
Great atmosphere. Mun's great. We're going to go to Jolly Pumpkin, have some lunch before. No, the hockey game, we'll go for dinner. Go to Jolly Pumpkin, have some dinner before we go to the game.
A couple Spartans, maybe.
A couple toddies, wet our beaks a little bit.
Hang out with the fans. It'll be a great time. I know that much. I mean, I think they have the new Sparta, van maybe in play.
Steve,
the Sprinter van. Steve, come on, man. Sign up, Steve.
You have not signed up yet?
You gotta sign up. Man. Get on the list. Get on the list. You can't, it's all up to Choo-Choo. He's got to reach in that hat with all the names. We're gonna have to film.
It's not me, so don't be sending me.
We're gonna have to film that to make sure you play fair. Okay?
I do not. I am not picking who's winning it. I just get told, hey, Steve can't win it because he's not even in it.
Let's wet our beaks. That's right.
You can wet your beak a little bit.
Wisconsin 59, Michigan State 54 with 4 minutes to go in the ball game right now. So look, what that means is we got to get on this and see what's going on and cheer them to victory for the next 4 minutes. All right. So for Otis, who's on assignment, and Jehuu Caulcrick, I'm Jason Strayhorn. This is Sparta. Have a good night. God bless, and go green.
Go white.
This is Sparta MSU as a combined presentation of Playfly Sports Properties and Michigan State Sports Properties. The show is produced by Pete Menez with additional support from Tony Costella. Operations and social media support is provided by Alicia Strayhorn with support from Cecily Max Brown. On-location technical support is provided by Good Fruit Video. Be sure to follow our hosts Jason Strayhorn, Jehuu Caulcrick, and Otis Wiley on social media. To stay up to date with all the latest, this is Sparta News. Please like and subscribe by visiting our link tree and tell a friend to do the same. Thank you for your support, and as always, go green.